Hey guys, and welcome to another video from the Jayo Nation. Unfortunately, this one is going to be another explainer. If you don't know, an article was written about me and my fellow YouTubers who live in China, and it was a pretty interesting article. It claims that the Chinese government is funding our videos and that we have become a propaganda arm of the Chinese government. This is a very interesting few weeks I've had. It's not a small publication. It's the London Times, and it literally, well, it says a few things. As much as it might tangentially say so, I am not British. I know that I can do a pretty good British accent, but no, I am in fact not a British YouTuber living in China. The rest of the article was less humorously wrong and more on the precipice of dangerous insinuation that we have some sort of propagandistic relationship with the Chinese government with regards to our videos. And like I said, it is referring a lot to Lee and Ollie, but the clips they use were me discussing topics, and they used me in the article, so I think that I need to discuss my take on this because I think it's important. The fact is that we live in China. All of us in that article have different perspectives because we have been here for quite some time. We might not have Western perspectives on certain topics. As a matter of fact, my perspective on the world is from where I am, which is in China. So if my perspective differs from yours, it's not necessarily because I'm being paid by the Chinese government. It's because the life experiences of me in China have informed my opinion that way. I do self-reflect on what I say. I think maybe I am slanted somewhat towards the Eastern perspective simply because I live here. I like my life here in China. I enjoy the lifestyle that is offered to me here in China. And so I'm appreciative to it, and therefore it's very possible that just as somebody living in America or somebody living in Europe or wherever they are is colored by their home. And so the article goes on to show some clips of conversations that Lee and Ollie and I and other YouTubers have had, and our opinions of certain things. Some of them political, some of them not. And the article claims that those perspectives are funded by the Chinese government. There are sponsored videos, and I have done sponsored videos in the past. They are very specific. We're going to go to this place, you are going to make this video, and you're going to talk about these things. That was not the case with me, especially in the trip to Shanxi, which was the basis upon which this article was focused on. I am very open to saying that on those trips, we were on a sponsored tour. The tour covered the travel expenses to and from, and in food and certain things. What they didn't do was tell us what to shoot, how to shoot it, and what to say about what we were shooting. All of that was up to us. So I've added some things to clarify in the description of the videos where I was in Shanxi province and Chongqing and Guangxi, and anytime I was on a tour that was sponsored in part by an organization. But in no way were those organizations in charge of the content that I made. In no way did they drive the narrative of those stories. It was all my voice. If I gave my opinion on a certain thing or a certain place while I was at that place, that was my own. They were simply introducing me to certain places. I think the article was trying to cast dispersions on who really was creating that content. That we were actually pawns to create content for a specific purpose to prop up the government here in China, and that's just not true. If we said things in the video that aligned with a certain message, it was because we agree with that message, and we are talking about that. It had nothing to do with us being coaxed in any way. I hope that this is somewhat of a clarification, although in today's world, I guess it doesn't really matter. You're probably going to see this, and if you hate China, you're going to say, yep, I knew it all along. He's a pawn. Or if you have watched me over the last almost decade, you'll say, yeah, that's what we pretty much thought. Matt's just, traveling around China, seeing things and making videos about those things. I don't think I've been dishonest about that. But again, we live in a polarized world, and people are going to think whatever they think. We live in a very strange world. I'm a travel YouTuber with opinions and thoughts. My opinions are based on my experiences. I share those thoughts and experiences. Some might align with the East, some might align with the West. But I'll tell you what they all align with. Me. The words I say in these videos are words that I really try to make sure to be concise and true from my heart. If they come off siding one way or the other, that's just coincidental. But we are not funded by the Chinese government to create content at a certain slant. It's very odd these days that if you make a video where you like something about China, you are pro-China, and therefore you are part of a propaganda network. There's a lot of YouTubers making videos about China these days, and it's just the soup du jour, as I'd said in a previous video. It's just the in thing to do.